I think that my presentation will be shorter because there are certain things that perhaps I could have said, but the previous panelists have talked about. So I'm going to try to go to talk briefly about them. I'm going to start by presenting first. You can see that we talk about GARR. It's a group for refugees, repatriated refugees. It's an organization that's working with people who are repatriated and refugees. So that when it comes to housing, so indeed the issue of housing is a concern for everyone in Haiti because it's a crucial problem, as you know, since even before the earthquake. So it's on now that we begin to talk about it. GARR is an organization that was founded in 1991. Yeah, at an important moment where there is a repatriation for Haitians who are living in the Dominican Republic, and the Dominican government was pushing to returning them. Between June and September, around 75,000 Haitians were repatriated. Starting in 2010, indeed, GARR began to work on the issue of that issue with the internal displaced people. So it is one of the things that the earthquake caused. It shows that it showed the level of solidarity that has amongst the people in Haiti, in the society. These are a lot of people who left Port-au-Prince and they went to live in the provinces and provinces that they've never visited before. And this is a case, for instance, where we're working in a place in Haiti called Las Caobas. And you know, our mission, it was to promote human rights with a vision that migration is something that can benefit both countries, the country of origin and the country and the no country, depending on how you might administer. So there is a series of objectives that we're going to go to. If you visit our site, you can see them. Right now, you can see we're intervening we're working in five regions. You can see we're more in the border areas. If you look at the map, you can see that we work mostly in Belader, in Las Caobas, in Tomasik, which is in the Central Plateau, and also in the Western Department. And we work in Ansapit, and we also work in Fonveret. As general, we work on we have three areas. We work on advocacy, receiving the victims and reinforcement, organizational reinforcement, reintegration, and also working in this situation. We work in this area after the earthquake. In the area where we work, there were 4 camps that we were. One area that's called the Decoville. It's a locality in the Plateau Central region, but which is close to Pelig. We have Wampa, we have Platanal, and also Chambouin. These are regions closer to Las Caobas. In Decoville, we helped 96 families. In Wampa, 84 families. Platanal for 26, and Chambouin 46 families. In total, we have 252 families. For each one of those families, there are at least 3 members and at most 10 members for each one of those families. To intervene, we indeed adapted the strategy. And we say that we're going to intervene based on those axes. First, we're going to do advocacy. Then we're going to do humanitarian assistance because we estimate that the problem, like many of the panelists talk about, the problem is a multidimensional issue. It's a multidimensional problem. Our colleague O'Donnell just mentioned it. It is that you cannot act at just one level. The problem is complex. It's multidimensional. We have to act at the different levels. This is why we discuss the issue of advocacy, humanitarian assistance, housing, building, follow-up, income generating revenues, training, and follow-up and training, and what we call also transfer of responsibilities. which we'll be talking about a bit later.
nan kesyon
In the issue of advocacy, we've done a lot of things. For instance,
nan sa ki pi
one
important
of
fèt
the
la
things that is most important that I'd like for you
pale
to talk
e
about
d'abord fèt de
it is
kampany
that
sou swa
we
ou
first do campaign, advocacy on
men yon nan lot
right
bagay
to
nou fèt
housing,
tou se ke
and also
se fè promosyon sa rele
we promote
kooperative de
we
lojman
promote
sosyo
cooperative
nan
or
sekte sa
social
nan
housing.
plateau central
This is why in
gen
the
d'abord
Plateau
7
Central area we have
kooperative ke
first
nou
of all
kreye
5 cooperatives
avèk
that we've
ekip nou
created with
gen
the
gen nan
people,
zon ouest 4
and in the
kooperative
west we have
kriye
4
men nou fè
cooperatives.
fas
But we also
an gros problem se
we're
ke pa gen
facing
cadre
a serious
legal pou
problem because we don't
kooperative yo
have
fè sa
the legal framework
donc
for these kinds of
maintenant
for these kinds of movements in
permettre
Haiti.
coopérative de
So to
logement
allow
marcher, maintenant il y a un grand travail qui fait, c'est
those
que nous
cooperative
avons
housing
besoin d'un
cooperatives to do,
cadre
we have to do
légal
advocacy so they
pour
can
ça
have
remettre
the legal
coopérative
infrastructure. So
et
what
logement
we call
social.
so we can have what we call
Et dans l'assistance
social
journalière,
housing
justement, nous avons environ
from a
250 familles,
cooperative perspective.
252 familles ça, que
Of
nous
those
et
252 families
assistance humanitaire
to
depuis
whom we gave
janvier
humanitarian
2006.
assistance
Et en
after
fait,
the earthquake, and
500 familles tout qui
there are
reçoivent
500
assistance
families that
humanitaire.
who
Jan nou
receive
c'est que
humanitarian
nous
assistance. How do we
mobiliser
do it?
pour
It is that since
un mouvement de solidarité.
since there's a
Il y a des familles qui
solidarity
sont passées
movement,
par
some
ce
families are already
coopérative
there and they
et
receive
nous-mêmes
other
qui étaient
families,
déjà dans
and these
situation
families they were already in a vulnerable
pas
situation.
faire des bons,
It's
c'est
not
parce
because
que
the
nous
situation was
voulons
that good, but
apporter
it's because
appui à
they
d'autres
wanted to
gens.
help
Famille ça ou
others.
pas qu'à
So those
moun
people can,
qui recevoir la caillou
those who are
ou pas
receiving them
capable
at their house, those
inclure
families, you cannot include them
aide que
in the help that we're offering.
donc
So
environ 200 familles dans le plateau
around
central
around 200
qui
families
recevoir
in the Central Plateau
qui recevoir aide pour paiement de
received
loyer
help
pour le
to pay their
et 250
rent
familles
for
dans
about a year,
Port-au-Prince
and 250 families in
qui fait
Port-au-Prince
même genre
also
ça
got
et
the
c'est
same kind of
pendant
help for their rent for you.
nous aide pour
As we are helping
mais tout
for their rent, we also
construction de maisons mobiles
give help so they can build houses,
lancé c'est
which
comme
began
ça
immediately after that.
plateau central
This is why in the Central Plateau,
5
we
maisons
built 85 houses,
et on dit ça de bois rouge etc.
10 to
et
12
7 dans
was
Washmila,
7
34
wash
dans village que
and 34 in a new village,
nous avons fait deux
because we built we had two
d'abord
strategies.
qui
One,
était
well, first with those who already have land
qui dans la communauté
or who live in the community,
ou bien qui pas gain
who receive people, hosted people, or their houses were destroyed. So we built houses for them on their own land, but some people were displaced. For instance, who came to Las Caobas, who had nobody, and was your first trip to Las Caobas. They were brought in there by the friend. So at that point, we had to create, build a village. This is what so this we call it. We call it Solidarity Village. The size of the houses, it is 42.5 square meters, with in general 2 bedrooms,
et puis l'autre
and also,
ça
and then the other accessories like
prix maison yo coûté
gallery.
8 millions de dollars.
Those houses cost about
Et
$8,000.
dans slide suivant, on est capable
Then the next phase, you can see there are two kinds of houses.
en haut
On top, and to your left, is the village. You see a series of houses that follow each other, one and the other, and after that, inside the community that we could build for those people. I'm saying that those who are in the villages, these are houses that are going to be part of the transfer. That's going to be administered by a cooperative. It is for people who live there. We also see that, in fact, building of houses, decent housing, it includes a lot of a series of things. We cannot just build a house and then just put people there. You can see that there are some pictures that we've inserted. There are a playground for kids. For the kids, there is also something that's not there. There's a center. There's a cultural center that is on the inside of the village, which we put there a cyber cafe for the young. Because after you build the houses, after the earthquake, after once the people at the house, after they wanted the other things like the internet, they wanted to hear the news. So in the cultural center, we have a cyber center for them, so they could listen. But the problem also, as I'm telling you, It's a multidimensional problem. We cannot
dans
act.
village là, pendant ce
Uh,
temps,
you
communauté
can
a yo-même
act
pas
in the village while the community itself doesn't have
gen
anything. This is why we
un
have
ensemble
we're
de
building.
systèmes d'eau potable dans
We have a
plusieurs
system of
communautés pour
water
permettre à ce que l'autre
irrigation
communauté yo,
that is there
moun qui
in
dans
the
localité yo
so other people in the
pas
community in the
senti
locality
délaissé par
so they
rapport
don't
à
feel
série
like
de monde
they are
yo
left
même
out
capable dire qui fait
when
vivre
compared to the
dans
other people
communauté.
who just came.
Nous te
In.
gen
We
de
also
bonne
had
collaboration toujours
good
avec
collaboration with
de
the
toute façon
authorities.
terrain
In any case,
village a besoin
a
c'est là
land,
qui fait son
land
d'accord
upon
là
which we build in the village
sous
with the
côté
Environment.
une belle négociation
It was
entre
a
député
great negotiation
magistrat
between the deputy,
ministère
the mayor, and also the minister
territorial
of
et régional pour nous
territorial
capables de
connectivity.
gagner ça légalité
They
et
work with us so we can
autorisation
get
normale pour
the paper,
construire
the legal
et
paper, so we can
pour créer
build these houses
pour
in the village.
village ça. Ben, l'autre moun yo
But
tou
the
ki
others
gen
who also
nan
have
localité
land in the
yo,
community in the
yo
locality,
benefise de maison.
know how
Gen
to
de
they
bagay tou
benefit from the
l'autre mwen
house.
kapab fè remarke, se
There's
ke
a couple of things that I
maison
can
yo konstruit selon
let you
justement
know.
prinsip parasismik.
They build them
Materyo
to protect
ke
them
yo
against
itilize yo
an
teste
earthquake.
pou apè spesyalist
The materials that we used to
nou
build these houses were tested by
servis nou
specialists. We had
implike
specialists
pou
that were
teste
recruited
materyo
to
keman
test those
ki koman
materials,
yo
and I can say
utilize
the
yo soti
majority of
nan
materials
zon. Donc,
came
ankor yon
that
bagay ki
from
permette ke
the
yon
area
l'ajan
from the
ki
region,
investi nan
which means that
komunite
the
ya, ki
money
booste ekonomi
those
komunite
money
ya.
that was spent
Donc,
inside
se
the community
kon
that helped to boost the the economy of the community.
plusieurs collègues nous sont passés là, comme
It's
si
just like
nous qui venons, n'a fait ça, nous
it's not like a group come here and we say they're going to do that and they'll come bringing the water. Things are coming from everything came basically from the community. So not only did the community benefit from the houses, but they also benefit by as a booster to their economy. As also the people had the chance to participate because oftentimes there's a problem in the people's work. Sometimes we think we can apply a project for people, but you have to know that the people have to have their say in the conception and implementation of the project. We have to listen to them. We have to listen to get their advice. So we had that consultation with those people, which is what made it possible. Which which, which means this is why the people also participate and also they give their support because when we talk about the how much this house is because we add 20% based on the people's capacity, their work, their effort. For instance, they brought water, they look for rocks, they look for materials, a lot of things that we needed to build these houses. They had to carry them themselves. So we add 20% to the cost of those houses as their labor. The other activity, as we talk about income generating activities, we talk about help the people get credit so they can do build, so they can do raise cattle and stuff, so they can have small businesses. To do those small things, there's a training center was in this area. For instance, some people who are in the city can learn how to sew, how to do furniture, carpenters and things. We had collaboration with the government in the question of at GB Damien. A lot of people went to JB Damien. If one of these pictures that you're looking at here, there's a group of people who are graduating from their training at the JB Damien. We also had other, not just vocational training, but others training. So when you bring people to a community, there are certain things that you have to let them know. We train them when it comes to human rights. With all those kinds of training were important, so those projects could move forward. So the criteria of selection in general, so people who are internally displaced, in general, it's a family. It's family with a woman at its head, because you know that in Haiti, in a lot of families in Haiti, it's women who run, they're single. They're just the mothers who run many of those houses. So we made sure that women had the opportunity.
Et tout le monde ça yo pas gagné un monde
justement
projet ça qui subit éviction forcée parce que c'était une implication de tout le monde.
everybody was involved. So now that when we're transferring responsibilities, and those villages where we want to live, that is itself administered by another group, the electrical system to feed the area electricity. We and the water system we transferred all that the local people are administering, and our financing comes from abroad.
Et nous gagnons ensemble
And
de,
we have
recommandations justement,
a series of
ensemble de
recommendation,
recommandations nous,
a
et
group,
c'est
a series of recommendation.
un projet logement avec
We have
des questions
a housing
pour prendre
project.
logements sociaux en compte. Et n'en déplaise à
Even
notre collaborateur
perhaps our
Harry,
collaborator will not be
nous
happy
venons
about what I'm
bagaille
saying,
nous
Harry.
penser
But one
et
of the things that we
officiel
think
régler
it is a
son bit
USCPP.
de trop.
It
Peut-être
is
il
a
fallait
little too much.
renforcer
Perhaps
PPRS ou du moins
they should have reinforced
avec
the other
et mettre
organization,
camper au
or
ministère
or
sous logement
or at least, as mentioned by
pour
another
travail
panelist,
dans cette unité
set up
peut-être
a new ministry,
et
the ministry
ensuite
for housing,
créer un
and that would
cadre
be better.
légal pour question
Also
de
create
logement tourisme
the legal
coopératif
framework, the
logement
legal
social là
infrastructure
nous pensons
for the
modèle
for the
québécois pas très
housing
mal parce que nous déjà
cooperative housing
en contact
can
avec
be
la
done better.
Fédération des coopératives du Québec.
I think we should get into
l'État justement mettait de crédit
collaboration with the
fonctionner et faire de
Cooperative Federation of Quebec,
Merci.
so they can have a social project. Thank you. Social housing project.